Hi, everyone. Welcome to our October membership meeting. We're going to be getting started in a few minutes. We're just waiting for a couple more people to join. This meeting will be recorded. All right, I think that might be everyone. So we're just going to get started. The 2023 October membership meeting is now called to order. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. As an opposite team, we are so excited for everyone to join us for October membership meeting. And as we head first into the membership year, it's now time to start serving others. So our October membership meeting theme is service. We want to start off tonight with a fun icebreaker from Amy.
So taking it away, we're going to start with never have I ever. So the rules are we will list three things and you'll have if you have ever done them in your past FBLA experience, then put your fingers down. So you have three fingers. We're going to count down to zero. And at the end, whoever has zero fingers hold up or down. So if you have zero held up, then you'll be able to share your experience. So starting with the first one, service. So with our theme of service this month, never have I ever, if you raised more than $100, then put a finger down. Now, speaking from all those small schools, definitely that's if you're in the past you've done this for fundraising for FBLA, that's definitely something that you can account for. And the second thing is earn more than 50 hours of community service. Third, donating more than 10 items of canned goods in the past. Awesome. So it looks like Dominic, would you like to share?
Yes, absolutely. So for I've actually raised more than $100 from my second BIA capstone project that I'm currently doing, which is like a charity pageant for the elderly woman at a senior living center near us, and we're raising money for all Alzheimer's research, and we've currently raised about $500 from that. So I'm really proud of that. I've earned more than 50 hours of community service, mainly from FBLA. My chapter is really service oriented, so just from the abundance of community service opportunities that we get, I've been able to do a lot of community service. And one of the biggest community service events that our chapter does is a Thanksgiving canned goods drive. And we always end up getting a lot of donations, and I always donate a lot of stuff since my family always has canned goods for some reason. But yeah, I really love being able to implement service with all the initiatives that I do.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for partaking and being so active in your chapter. It sounds like your school is very involved as well. So, with another round of Never Have I Ever, we're going to go again. So, you have another chance of scoring a 0, or in a good way. So, never have I ever attended SLC. You can put a finger down. Never have I ever attended more than one monthly membership meeting. Okay, we have a lot of officers competing with this one. Never have I ever donated to our partner organizations. This could be like March of Dimes, for example. Okay. So let's see. I'm trying to see if anyone has raise your hand or just like unmute if you have 0 fingers held up.
I have 0.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I've attended every SLC in my high school career, even the virtual COVID one. I've attended a lot of membership meetings, and I've donated to March of Dimes with my chapter.
Woo. Alrighty, and that wraps up our Never Have I Ever.
To help your chapter succeed with service, we prepared a presentation full of wonderful information that applies to you as an individual member and to your chapter as a whole.
In order to have a successful time serving, it is important to understand why service is so important. So why is service important? Well, first, you're going to make an impact. And you can make an impact in the littlest way or in the biggest way. And you may just make an impact on one person's life or on a bunch of people's lives. But in any way, that is worth it. You also get to connect with your communities. So when you do a lot of like local chapter community service, this is a great way to give back to your community and show them that you care and really just start making that great connection with them. Other than that, you can support greater causes. So with FBLA, we have March of Dimes. With Colorado, we have the Colorado Relief Fund. Those are great ways to support causes that are bigger than your community, bigger than you, and really just donate and help all those people that are really in need of it that you may not even know, but are still deserving of it. And then finally, you can learn applicable skills. So these would be different things like I know that I've learned in service. I've learned how to manage my time. I've learned how to do things just out of kindness for fun. And I've learned the importance of giving back.
So what is service? Service is unpaid work performed by a person or group of people for the benefit and betterment of their community. So let's break this down into 3 points. Donation, fundraiser, and volunteering. Those are the 3 main types of service. So let's dive into how to do service, specifically the steps: planning, executing, and wrapping up. Well, like we said, there are 3 different types of service. So first you have to figure out, is it a donation, a fundraiser, or is it volunteering? Then you're able to decide on a specific project. What type of impact do you want to make? Who will you be impacting? Your community, your school? And how will you know when you have made your impact? Make sure you have a measurable goal.
Then when thinking about kind of the when and who of your project, in terms of when you want to work on your service project, you want to identify some of the logistical components. So what's going to be the duration of your project, whether it's a single day or more continuous over time. And then also even little things like the time of day can have a really big impact depending on what you're doing, and like simple things like whether you're working outdoors or indoors. And then just getting proper approval for your date and location. So certain areas you have to get in touch with like park members if you're planning to work in a park. Sometimes that's like a community board kind of thing that you have to reach out to make sure that you're okay to use it at that time. And then in terms of who, that's kind of delegating specific tasks to people. So first up, you have your operations and management, which is like the logistics of the project. And this is to a certain extent going to be the people that are in charge of delegating certain tasks to each other and directing people to complete certain actions. Then you have marketing, and that's just making sure that obviously we're promoting the project and we're raising awareness just so that we can make sure that our projects are actually making an impact. And finally, we have finance, which is just resources needed for the project. So this is also going to include things like reaching out to people, others and local businesses to make sure that you have fundraising, to make sure that you have any resources that you need for what you're doing, and just all of the resources in general.
Next up, we have to execute it, incentivize participation, whether it's like a simple shout out on your chapter's social media page or like earning the member of the month. Make sure you're engaging your audience, have a backup plan for achieving your goals if your initial strategy doesn't succeed, and maintain detailed records of all financial transactions, expenses, and donor information.
Lastly, you have to wrap up. If it is a donation project, be sure to show gratitude to all donors, and you need to organize the items that were donated. If it's a fundraiser, you need to calculate the profit that you made that is going to be donated, and you need to be able to confirm the donation through a safe and trustworthy method. If it is a volunteer service project, you need to formalize hours for all participants. Most importantly, take pictures and show the community what work you've been doing.
So if you guys have been doing community service projects in your local chapter, Colorado FBLA wants to recognize that and appreciate that. So here's a QR code. You guys can submit your projects to what's called Service Sundays, and we will recognize you on social media. We'll recognize you at our state leadership conference. You could win an award. You could win peak points. This is a really great thing to recognize all the hard work that you guys do locally.
So there are already a few processes in place which can act kind of as a guide to you if you need it. So the first one is the BAA capstone project. And this is where you'll find a need in your community and then create a solution to the problem. And this is pretty cool because you can actually get recognition for this at state or even at nationals, and you can compete. And then next, I would like to bring up the design thinking part of this. So it's pretty much a process used to develop solutions to problems through a very thorough analysis process. And you can find a more detailed explanation of it through the design thinking part of the BAA advocacy level. And then there is also a step-by-step community service how-to guide, which you can access on the Colorado FBLA website under the high school program section in the service part. And then also some other ideas for community service that some of your state officers have done are caramel apple drives, which is kind of just raising money to give to a good cause. And then I know of a coat drive and just highway pickup. So yeah, that's kind of the 4 processes that you can follow.
Well, thank you all for listening to this presentation. We hope that it was beneficial to you and gave you some ideas you can implement.
Okay, everyone. So to help summarize the most important points of the presentation, we prepared a short and fun Kahoot for you all to show your knowledge. The code will be appearing on the screen in just a moment. And when you guys are joining, we ask that you please use your real names while signing on. So we'll just give the technology a moment to get the Kahoot on the screen. And the state officer will also be better than a state officer. That'll be fun.
Actually, now we have mod 2 back. We can look up some of the things that we weren't able to look at before we did the Kahoot really quick while we're signing on.
Okay, I don't know if my service is bad, but it's kind of glitchy a little bit. So some other community service ideas you can do is there's three main types: donation, fundraiser, and volunteering. And I feel like volunteering is probably the easiest to just do, but the other two kind of require more organization. And so for donation, you could run a food drive. Like some of you said, you've donated canned food to like either homeless shelters or people in need. And then you could also do a clothing drive with a similar idea. And or you could even make some kits for the homeless where it would be kind of like a little care package to maybe brighten their day. Or you can do a fundraiser like the March of Dimes fundraiser. It could be something as simple as, like, I guess this isn't simple, but I just think it would be a cool idea, is maybe doing like a 5K where people could pay a little entry fee and that would be donated. And then you can do any type of food sales, whether that be like drinks or snacks. And then at school, you could sell chocolates for $1 and kind of make it fun that way. And then for volunteering, you could volunteer at a local food bank and be able to give back to your community that way, or at a local small business and being able to just help out around your community. And also, you could just do a community area cleanup, whether that be at a park or your school or along the highway, like some of your state officers. So, yeah, there's a couple common ideas.
All right, some important notes is do not get caught up in the planning. If the planning process is taking too long, then move on with the next step so then it keeps things going. You want to start simple or simplify complex projects. So if you have a really big project and it's super complex, you want to break that down into easier steps so then it gets the ball rolling and it makes things easier along the way. Remember that you are supporting a cause, and that is amazing. Don't be shy to show your passion. I am an FBLA and I do community service projects because that's something that I am passionate about. That is something that I love. And then collaborating with local businesses. When you collaborate with these local businesses, you're able to make connections, you're able to get new ideas and resources, and so that can really help along the way. And then some resources that Colorado FBLA offers is on the QR code over here, but you go to coloradofbla.org, go to programs, high school programs, scroll down to service, and then it has like a step-by-step community service. So yeah, hope that helps.
Okay, now that we've been able to go through this whole presentation, we hope that it was beneficial for you and gave you some ideas you can implement. But now we have a special guest speaker with us.
Can I go ahead and introduce myself? So hey everybody, my name is Dominic Mimbang. I'm currently a sophomore at Coffee High School and a Coffee High School FBLA member. I currently serve as the chapter vice president for my chapter, as well as the co-chair for the service committee, and as well as a Georgia FBLA state ambassador. I am also a 2023 BAA Capstone Top 15 National Finalist, and I'm currently working on my second capstone project.
Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask Dominic?
Well, I guess I'll jump up and ask real quick. If you can change one thing about your capstone project, what would it be?
So if I could, really, it would be, I guess, the way that I kind of pace myself. So I'll just go over a general summary of my capstone project right quick. So my capstone project was titled Knowledge Empowers, and it was a project that was aimed at increasing representation for Black-owned businesses, a cause that I was very passionate about. there were three parts to this project, which were the media campaign, the expo, and the scholarship fund. In the media campaign, my committee and I went around to different news outlets and shared knowledge and powers as message about increasing representation for Black-owned businesses and helping aspiring Black entrepreneurs gain the resources that they can. And we also did that by honoring the challenges and strides that Black business owners have had to endure throughout the history of the United States. We were able to reach areas with over 600,000 plus people in them by going to different news outlets, which include WALB 10, which is the largest news outlet for South Georgia, where I live, and three of my local news outlets, which are the Douglas Now, Douglas Enterprise, and the Coffee County Living magazine, as well as tapping social media. And next, my committee and I held an expo full of Black-owned businesses at my school to expose students to Black-owned businesses in our town, and later on to the community members as well. We helped students engage with the business owners, tap in with internships, job opportunities, and just help them see a different perspective in the business world. And finally, this project also helped develop a scholarship fund plan for aspiring Black high school students who want to go to a university and major in a business-related field. I'm currently still working on that. I'm currently still working on that, but really from this project, one thing that I kind of like messed up on was the fact that I didn't really, I guess, pace myself with everything that I did. Like there were some points in time in which I was kind of rushing myself to get some deadlines done, which and it didn't really go smoothly and it didn't really resonate well with the project. And so there was like at one point where I was planning for something ahead in time that I really was supposed to plan in 2 weeks or so. And I was just, my mentality was stressing my own self out. And I kind of felt like as if I wasn't really going to succeed in this project. But from that, I really learned that you really need to pace yourself. And with with my second expo that I'm developing this year, again, continuing my first capstone project, I really hope to be able to manage my time better from this. But that was really a great question.
Thank you.
Dominic, so the capstone project is an overwhelming initiative, 80 plus hours. Can you give some tips to completing the project? Whether that be a timeline, how you stored all of your information, managed it, just quick oversight to your life while doing this.
So really, I put there's four main steps attached to the capstone project, and that is first your project proposal, then it's your project plan, then it's your project implementation, and finally it's your final project, like your qualitative and quantitative impact. So I mainly stored all of my information for my capstone project in a Google Drive, just so it would be easier for me to handle some of the Google Docs and Google spreadsheets that I got from this project. And really from the capstone project, what I would suggest to do is, and this is actually engraved in the capstone project itself, but to form a team or committee that will be able to help you with this, because I definitely could not have handled doing this entire event by myself, if I'm being completely honest. But with the help of my other team members, and that helped me with contacting the businesses, helped me set up everything, helped me get in contact with the news stations for us to be able to spread our message, and helped me in development of the scholarship fund, and they're still helping me to this day. That was really one of the most like important things that helped me to undertake this overwhelming task. And also it was really me tapping in to something that I was passionate about. The capstone, a lot of people view the capstone project as something that just takes a lot of time, and that it's like a burden to them sometimes. But really, once I found a topic that I've been really passionate about and I was able to implement it and really make change in my community and make change to others around me, it helped me grow, honestly. And those are really the main things that I would suggest for undertaking the capstone program.
Thank you. It looks like we have a question from Molly in the chat. Can you please explain what the NLC capstone presentation was like and how is it different or similar to other competitive events?
Absolutely. So well, first, there is once you get done with your capstone project, like after you've submitted your final deliverable, which is the final project deliverable, there's going to be a page on the last year was the FBLA Learning Center, this year's FBLA Connect, which says submit your capstone project for a competitive review. And the deadline last year was May 3rd. I'm pretty sure FBLA usually keeps their deadlines the same, but they extended it as well last year, so I'm not sure about that. But for the preliminary round, you're submitting a video and as well as basically a project proposal slash a project infographic about the impact that you were able to make from this project and what you were able to do. And then from that, the top 15 projects from the nation are chosen to be finalists. And you then get to NLC. And the presentation, it went like a normal presentation event at NLC, but at the same time it didn't. It was kind of weird because actually because the judges, they were really more interactive with your project than they would be in, let's say, the final round for introduction to business presentation or social media strategies. And the basically from the guidelines that they give you for your presentation, they kind of give you a guide for like what you're supposed to really aim to see for the judges to see in your presentation. And in the capstone presentation that I did at nationals, I also had to bring a a printed version of my capstone project, so I could like a printed infographic of my capstone project so I could give to the judges just so they could examine it afterwards. But the judges are definitely a lot more interactive and they ask you a lot more questions. And if any of you are interested in doing like a capstone project and then submitting it for competitive review, I would say definitely practice your script ahead of time, because for me, I had a lot of information that I could only pack into 7 minutes, and 7 minutes seems like a lot of time, but when you're faced in front of those judges, honestly, honestly, I almost went over time, but I mean, I got through it. So yeah.
And then we have one last question. How can members kind of come up with a project idea?
So definitely one thing that I would say about members, I would really say go with something that you're really passionate about, because the thing that I will say about the capstone program is that I honestly see it as a way to express yourself and have fun while also advocating for something that you're really passionate about. Um, so originally, that was not my original project idea. I was gonna go with something way different. But after talking to my mentor, and she was like really seeing what I actually wanted, what actually aligned with my passions and interests, I went with the Black History Month Expo and Media Campaign and Scholarship Fund. And that really helped. That really helped with how much I was able to accomplish from this capstone project, and really how much impact I was able to make on my community. And from from brainstorming ideas with your project, honestly, what I would say is talk to some of your friends or family members or community members in your community and see from what your passion or interest is, how you could build something that would directly impact them in a creative way. one of the biggest pieces of advice that I also have about the capstone program is I know this word is super redundant and it's like usually seen in those like college acceptance videos, but think about the capstone project as a passion project that's fueled from FBLA. This is you basically igniting one of your passions and actually being able to produce real change from it. And once you've figured out what you want to do, it will help you grow so much more as a person and as a leader and as a communicator.
Thank you so much for the answer, Dominic. If I could ask a brief question very quickly. So a massive part of the capstone project is finding a mentor. Do you have any advice to picking one or reaching out to somebody?
So what I would say about picking a mentor is number one, pick a mentor that will actively like help fuel your capstone project, because my mentor is honestly like one she was my school's one of the advisors for a club at my school called Fly Girls and Boys, which is basically a club helped at helping disadvantaged kids grow more and take better advantage of the opportunities handed to them from life. And she was also one of our school's she also is one of our school's guidance counselors and social workers. So I knew that she also kind of shared that same passion for me, which was representing black owned businesses and helping increase representation for them. And so definitely pick somebody who kind of has expertise. Not even if they don't have expertise, find somebody who's willing to be really passionate and strong about what you want to go after. And the next thing that I would suggest is um pick honestly pick a community member. um a lot of people might, I think actually that you can't pick a family member or somebody that you're related to for capstone. I might be wrong. I thought I read that in the guidelines, but I would say like try and find a community member, because number one, you're working with somebody that might have a lot of expertise in the field or project that you want to go after. And number two, you're actively networking with a community member, could which could open you to more recognition recognition, sorry, and open you to more connections that you'll be able to make in your future endeavors. So that's definitely some of the advice that I have about finding a mentor for your capstone project.
Great. Thank you so much, Dominic, for joining us today and sharing all of these amazing tips with us.
Absolutely. It was a joy. It was a joy to be here. I appreciate it so much that I was able to use this platform to talk about my capstone project, as well as being able to converse with you about this. And I mean, if any of you have any questions about capstone or how to go after your capstone project, you can always message me on on either my Instagram's account. My personal is Dominic Mimbang, and my FBLA account is Dominic.FBLA. I mean, sorry, Dominic FBLA. So it was so nice to be able to talk to all of you, and that I will definitely if you want to definitely keep in touch with me. I love getting to know people and being able to talk to people. So yeah, thank you so much, Colorado FBLA, for having me.
I have to say, Dominic, just listening to how passionate you are, not just about like the BAs, but about FBLA in general, is really amazing. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Okay, to help summarize some of the most important pieces of the presentation, we have prepared a short and fun Kahoot for everyone to show their knowledge. The code to the Kahoot will be appearing on the screen in a moment, and we ask that everyone please use their real names when signing on. So we'll just give the technology a moment to get the Kahoot up on the screen. Would anyone else like to share any thoughts on anything Dominic shared, or maybe ask another question real quick? I would just like to say I really liked all your tips on how to find the right partner, and I'll be using them when I'm completing mine.
If you ever like have any advice developing account, I would be like happy to answer any questions that you have. I just love talking about Capstone. So yeah.
We'll just give everyone a moment to get on the Kahoot and get started. Okay, looks like almost everyone got this one right.
I feel like everyone should get this one right just because of how important it is.
I mean, this one's pretty difficult. It might be a little tough for some people.
Love
Oh,
to
no.
see it. Love to see it. And we have Alex in the lead. Okay. In addition to these, I think it's also really important to go over and consider the points that Dominic talked about, which is passion. So I would definitely think it's something important we should add as well. I guess this one was also tricky. Dominic in the lead. Okay.
Alex has lost his throne.
Kind of 50-50. I guess we'll let the last question decide the winner. But it looks like Dominic might win this one, so I think Sam might be offended, I'm gonna be honest. 2 people won't submit. In 3rd place, we have Ben. In 2nd place, Risa. And in 1st place, our wonderful guest speaker, Dominic. Thank you guys so much.
All right, everybody. We know that you've spent most of this meeting listening to us, but we do have one last activity for tonight, and it's time for us to share and listen to each other's idea. So, for this activity, we are going to spend about 7 minutes trying to plan a service project, and then we'll go through all the steps that are shown here. We'll find a need, we'll find a solution, and we'll develop a plan for that need. And then we will share it out, and yeah. All right. Our first step is find a need. So let's go ahead and talk about what our communities need or what could be improved, and then we'll brainstorm a problem and look for a solution. Does anyone want to talk about a community or a need in their community?
I can go. So mine isn't really like something of a major issue, but it's mostly with engagement in school. I do see that at school, most students aren't as engaged with our programs, and it's something that I would like to see more brought up, because I know we have so many wonderful opportunities, but maybe just students aren't aware of it. So yeah.
Absolutely, that's a big one. Would anyone else like to share?
I'll go ahead. Mine also isn't like a huge need, but just there isn't a lot of engagement in our high school and our elementary end. So we've been working to try to create ways to get our high schoolers with our junior high kids and even our elementary kids more, just because they look up to us and they see us as role models, and they sometimes will listen to us and things we have to say more than they'll listen to other kids. So we try to engage down there. And so that's a need in our community that we've been working this year and last year to try to increase the engagement between the two.
Of course, yeah. I think that is a great topic for our need, is having more engagement in our schools. So I think that's something that we need, is more engagement. Our next step would be to find a solution. All right. Does anyone have any ideas for a solution and something that's actually going to be impactful as well?
Maybe like I know a lot of schools do big buddy, little buddy, and they connect with high school kids, junior high kids, and little kids, and everybody just gets together and does a fun activity, and you get to meet little kids, and the little kids get to meet you, and it's just a fun experience for everybody, and everybody gets to know more about each other.
I love that. Yeah. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add?
My school also does a thing where the high schoolers go like once a month to elementary schools and read to the little kids. It's called Literacy for Littles. So,
Oh, cute. That's very awesome. I think we could actually combine those ideas, do like a big buddy, little buddy, and that's part of their thing where they go down and read with the kids. All right. That sounds like a great solution, guys. So I think it's now time to formalize our plan. We need to decide, what equipment do we need? Our volunteers? Do we have to spend money on this? Time, date, place. I know that that's a lot of questions I just threw at you, so we'll take it slow. Do we need any equipment for this?
I think we just might need just regular computers, pencils, all just like school supplies. I don't think we need any special equipments for this.
And
We would
building
need
on top of
books
that,
to
I
read
think,
to
oh,
people.
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying you might need some books if you're going to read to some kids.
That's true.
We would need some sort of transportation to get the bigger kids over there.
Right. I forget since I'm rural that not everyone's elementary and high schools aren't connected, so we will need transportation. That's true.
And like most importantly, we need like as much as we need like regular equipment, we need like you regular people. Like we don't need anyone special, just people who are like passionate about helping, their community.
Of course, we need a great team. All right. I think that's our equipment. We need transportation, just regular computers, things to help us organize stuff, and we need a good team. All right. So going into the good team part, who are our volunteers? Who is volunteering to help these guys?
I would definitely say I would definitely like say high school students because I know a lot of high school students at my school. They do like a lot of initiatives that are similar to some of these. Like I know that some of the cheerleaders and football players at my school throughout football and cheer season, they go to elementary schools and they read to kids for community service hours. And yeah, that's definitely high school students would definitely be engaged in an initiative like that.
I think you're absolutely right, Dominic. I think our main volunteers are definitely going to be our high school students, making sure we get that engagement.
I would also
All
like to
right.
say, oh, I'm so sorry, Sam, but I wanted
Go
to make
ahead, go
a
ahead.
bullet point, and that is when you're getting volunteers and you're initiating a project of like a larger scale, something especially that requires transportation, moving outside your building. While there might be a lot of passion there, you also have to be reaching out to parents, staff, and teachers as well. That way you can gauge the support because at the end of the day, you need somebody behind you, backing you, and that will always take your project 10 steps further.
Right. Of course. I did a capstone project similar to this. You definitely have to get permission from parents. You have to get permission from administration. After you get that permission, they're always willing to lend a helping hand. So that is, of course, great. All right. Do we have to spend any money for this, or are we just doing it free or nonprofit without any?
I want to hear from Alex.
I would say, I mean, unless you're like planning an event that would require some materials that you don't have at your school, but like books or other equipment, I feel like you should, or would have everything at your school.
I think Alex is absolutely right. So everything should be at the school. Books, I feel like every school has definitely children's books that they could read with them. So yeah, I think this is a pretty much money-free project. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? No? Okay. Now we need to decide time, date, and place. And this can be a reoccurring thing, so it happens more than once, so don't feel like super stuck in the time and date thing. But maybe let's focus on the place for now.
I'd say we'd want to stay in our elementary schools just for the factor that those kids don't really have a lot of transportation around, especially if we go down there during school hours or like right after school, then they're just there and their parents don't have to worry about coming back, taking them other places. We can just meet them there. And then I would also say that if we did it like once a month or it was a reoccurring thing, it'd be more beneficial because then those kids could really create more connections with us.
I think you're absolutely right, Kendall. I think it definitely should be a recurring thing. And then also just having it in the elementary school, it really simplifies everything. Does anyone else have anything to add to that?
Josie, we haven't heard from you.
You could maybe do like a library because like the books would already be there, and I don't know, children like library. There could be some fun activities too, and if you wanted to like get donations from places, so you could, I think that'd be a good place to do it.
Yeah, the library is definitely also a great option. Maybe even like a school library. I know some schools have like their own little school library. That'd be a great, quiet place to just have that all take place. All right, I think we have our plan. Should we go over it? Okay, let's see. So our need was first, we wanted more engagement with our schools and specifically high school and elementary, but just more engagement overall. So our solution to that was we were going to partner up with our elementary schools and our high schools, and then do maybe reading together, just like a little buddy time. And that was going to be our solution. And then for our plan that we had, we were going to have to need transportation. Our volunteers were our high school students. We don't have to spend any money really. We're going to hold it once a month in like a school library. And yeah, does anyone else have anything to add to that?
I was gonna say maybe for the teachers to specifically sign up for days and times so that we would know when to go. We could do like a sign up genius, and that could be one of our resources.
Yes, perfect. Definitely need that. Communication with your teachers is key. Anyone else? Alrighty.
To add on, oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I'd love to hear from you.
So to add on to that, my school does a PAL program. So it stands for Peer Assistance and Leadership, and it's a class, and we do this weekly. So another thing that one can do is partner up with the teacher to start a class for it.
That's awesome. I love that you guys are already doing that. And that is so cool. I think that's awesome that you guys already have that in place and you already have something going on. All right. Anyone else before we move on? Okay. Well, I think we did a great job, guys. I think we came up with a great project here. So thank you guys so much for participating.
Thank you all for participating, and we hope you are able to apply these ideas you learned to your chapter. Over the last month, our state officer team has been hard at work launching initiatives to help you succeed. Let's hear from our vice presidents about the progress we have made this past month.
All right, guys. So the Service POW has been hard at work getting some initiatives ready for you in November. So the first one that we have coming up is March of Dimes Awareness Week. This has become kind of a tradition where it's a little like Homecoming Week, where we have dress up days and we really focus on bringing awareness to March of Dimes, and then maybe also some donation time to that. This will be November 13th through 17th. We have the days lined out and we'll be telling you guys about them soon. You can dress up with us to support. Another thing that has also become a little bit of tradition is Why I Serve. So we basically publish videos and post online about why we have chosen to serve as state officers, why we choose to serve in our community, things like that. So we will be showing you guys a little template about how that works as state officers. And this competition will be from November 12th to the 25th. And you can submit a Why I Serve social media post for peak points. Other than that, Service Sundays, get your Service Sundays submitted so we can recognize all your awesome work and awesome projects at SLC, and then we can also give you peak points for that as well.
Hello, everyone. I'll be very brief about this, be very quick. I also want to give a quick revision of everything that we've been doing recently. So as far as the education committee is concerned, we recently had competitive event videos go out to assist everybody in selecting the competitive event as well as moving them forward this year. Coming up, we're going to be doing exactly what Dominic did today, and we're going to be speaking to a few different capstone project winners, overviewing the BAAs, making sure that we can showcase our amazing Colorado FBLA members, but also making sure that you're best ready to compete this year. I will always advocate for submitting a newsletter article with Colorado FBLA. That is the thing I primarily work on. Financial Fridays and Pilot Productions are two social media initiatives which we're putting an effort into reinstating. They took a brief hiatus, but they'll be coming back. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me or need any help.
Awesome. So the Progress POW has been really working just on our social media accounts and getting more active there, getting things posted. Our Get Socials are getting posted on the 15th of every month. And those are just little tips and tricks on how to be successful in FBLA and just different things that come with it. We have officers that we're posting videos about and they're sharing their FBLA story. So those are fun to watch along with and really get to engage and hear a little bit from our officer team on what they've been up to. Along with that, our officers are doing officer takeover days. So we have one coming up here shortly, and then we've had several other ones. So they're put it on our Instagram where you guys just get the opportunity to ask any questions that you may have. And it's just a little Instagram story. The questions thing is there, and literally anything you want to ask. It can be regarding FBLA, it can be about the state officer's personal life, like if they play sports, like what they're up to other than just FBLA. So engage in those if you see those out there. And then we also have been working on one thing we just posted about was videos of our members at the CFLC conference. And so we're just trying to get our members' faces out there, get them seen more. We do the same thing with star members, members of the month, things like that. We just want you guys to see your faces on social media. So keep working hard, and hopefully your guys' faces will come up on there.
We hope this gives you an understanding of our goals as a team and the work that we do.
Before we go to our announcements, let's take a quick picture to celebrate the milestones of the 3rd membership meeting. Everyone, please turn on their cameras and smile. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think I got it. Wait 1 second. Let's take one more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
Moving on to our announcements. Colorado FBLA Today comes out November 1st. I heard it's a really good issue. Thank you, Gabe. And then March of Dime Awareness Week is November 13th through the 17th. That's just awesome.
All right, thank you everyone so much for joining us for our October membership meeting. We really hope you learned something new to take back to your chapters. Be sure to check out our Monday memos, which come out every Monday through your emails. And I encourage each and every one of you to reach out to our state officers. We are always here to help you guys with anything that you need. And we'll continue our monthly membership meetings next month in November. And we hope to see you all there. Thank you all so much for coming. The October membership meeting is now adjourned.